You are listening to the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast, my favorite podcast to listen to on long flights across the galaxy.
This is the way.
We're wanted men.
Welcome to episode 112 for the Smuggler's Galaxy podcast. We're recording Monday night. This is Glenn. Jason's with me as always. Jason, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. Now you're
Let's
frozen.
get ready to podcast.
Hey, there you are. Now you're unfrozen.
Yeah.
That look you gave me was like you gave me like the unapproving Jason look, and I was like, what did I say?
No, it's not you. I'm trying to blur my background. Even though we're not using this video, I still self-conscious about having a stack of shorts over my shoulder.
Dude, how was your week?
It was one for the I have a lot more gray hair this week. I'll say it that way.
Oh, really?
It's one of the most busiest weeks of my life at work. And then this past weekend we were out in Gainesville for a robotics tournament for my son. But that's like a 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock on Saturday, and then 6 a.m. to 8 o'clock on Sunday. And
PM?
then 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. and then
Oh
6
my God.
a.m. to, because you got to travel out there. You got to meet up with the team and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, there was that. And then I was selected for the Municipal Justice Squad, which I was doing today, which just means that work is on hold after having an incredibly busy week. I don't know. I always feel like in the intros, I'm always complaining. But
So you got jury duty? In other
yeah,
words?
that's another way to put it.
Oh, Jesus. Dude, jury duty stinks. At least we're up here, like north of town, and you don't have to go into
Yeah.
Atlanta to do jury duty because that really stinks. I got grand jury duty a few years ago, and I just bit because it was like for months. You know, it was like the first Friday of every month, or first Monday of every month for like 4 or 5 months, and it really sucked.
Yeah, I can't talk about it because I'm still in the throes of it. Than to say that I'm in jury duty.
Right. Well, you can always be like, I'm a member of the media and see what they say.
No, it doesn't work that way because technically I'm not.
I have a podcast.
Yeah, with no respect and no media badges. So we don't qualify for a member of the media. I can't talk about it. Anyways, moving on. How was your week?
It wasn't bad. Got some stuff in the mail, so that was fun. We got I'll talk about that and then we can talk about my week. I don't know. Jumping around a little bit. But
Okay.
no, I got a Galactic Heroes Chewbacca first shot, and then the table from the Falcon, I was gonna say the Djarin table, but I know that's not right. The chess table from the Falcon.
The Jarek.
Got a first shot of that. And it was kind of cool because you actually could see what the figure is on it. Then it's like the guy throwing the one guy.
Mhm.
So that was kind of cool. And then I got a piece of art that's from I forgot what the guy's name, but he owns a shop called Earth to Kentucky. And somebody had thrown up a Wampa piece that he did. He does a bunch of cutouts, wood cutouts, and then he'll paint them, and then like they're relief paintings or whatever.
Yeah.
So then he'll take like a big black roller and like all the stuff that's pointing up, and so it's just very dramatic. I picked up that, and then what else? Oh, and then the Wampa Build-A-Bear. So it was a Wampa weekend.
So
Wampa
it wasn't a birthday present.
No. Dude, we don't do birthday presents per se. I mean, she might buy me something, but then I'll get it as soon as she gets it.
Oh, okay.
It's not really a, hey, your birthday's today. Have a present.
I have a feeling a birthday present was sent to my Syracuse address
Uh-oh.
because my wife had 2 boxes that appeared in the mailbox, and she went to the mailbox and it wasn't there. She checked her phone and it was our Syracuse address. So she called a friend who went over to the house and said, "Hey, you happen to have 2 boxes today?" And they gave her the boxes.
Oh.
So we got lucky.
Yeah. And it wasn't, you don't know what kind of, well, of course, because it's a birthday present. So
It's a
you don't know if
birthday
it's stuff
present.
that could have been, huh?
It's a birthday present.
Right. So you don't know if it's stuff that could have been replaced or not.
Right. I doubt it is because I have a suspicion as to what it is.
Right.
But I don't think so. That happened to me before. I was telling the kids about this, that I think it was the Heavy Mandalorian Trooper, which was originally a Best Buy exclusive. I had just ordered it and didn't even pay attention. And the same thing, it was delivered in the mailbox. Couldn't find it. And then later that night, I get a text message because with the Best Buy, they put your phone number under the address.
Uh-huh.
So the owners texted me. The owners of the house now texted me and said, "What do you want to do with this?" And I said, "Just send it back. I'll buy another one." Gotta pay attention, I guess.
Right.
Especially after you move.
Right. Delete all your old emails or addresses. But yeah, we got that dumpster. So this weekend I spent throwing stuff away. And it's amazing. We filled the dumpster.
Yeah.
Well, we still have room, but you know how it is. If you ever get a dumpster, you open it up so you can put stuff in it. So like the first half of it is stuff that kind of compacts, and then it starts falling as you get to the end.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that if I close the door, I could still put a ton of stuff in there. But I was just surprised we threw away a bunch of stuff. I still got to freaking do my my collection. They're the 92 and the ceramics and stuff. So that
In the
I'm not looking
dumpster?
forward. Not in the dumpster. I still got to.
Those are two different thoughts then, huh?
Right. I'm sorry. I still got to wrap all that stuff up and pack it up. And
Okay.
I have a feeling we'll be doing it till the minute that till the 9th hour or 11th hour or whatever it's called.
It's called the 2062nd hour.
Right.
No, it's the 11th hour. I'm just being funny.
11th hour.
Trying to be funny, not successful.
What you drinking? You drinking some hard cider?
Yeah, this is a hard cider from Mercer Orchard. It's old number 3. I thought it was going to be sweeter than it is, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm just drinking water because we went to Reformation. They did their 9-year party on Saturday, and of course it was one of those where you're all right, I'm good, and then you get another beer, and then somebody buys you another beer, and then it's like I got home and was texting you and was like, "Dude, I don't know if I'll be able to record tonight or not."
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, I couldn't.
But you were still in Gainesville.
I was still in Gainesville. Speaking of which, I went to Ollie's earlier this week, and I think a whole slew of Georgia Lions members flew to Ollie's afterwards because that Mandalorian retro game appeared at Ollie's, and that was originally an online exclusive for like $50, and then it sold out. And it came with the Mandalorian carded Stormtrooper, but it was like dirtied up. So they added like some spray paint to it to make it look like it's my mouse just froze. Make it look like it's a dirty. And that figure alone is like $60 to $100, and Ollie's was selling it for $20.
So you had people I went and just bought them all up.
So I shared it. That was the fear, is that people would go and buy it all up. I bought one for FJ up in New Jersey. I bought one for Tony. So that way I'm helping the scalpers out a little bit by taking care of a couple choice customers.
Right.
I'm doing their job for them. I'm just doing it at cost.
Right.
So I got to mail something.
Yeah, maybe I need to stop. I never luck out at Ollie's because by the time I get to one, people have already picked through it.
Yeah, I saw someone up in Michigan, Wisconsin, had those retro that Monopoly game with the retro figures. So I was like, I'm gonna swing in to the Cartersville one, and lo and behold, the one up in Canton didn't have it, but the one in Cartersville did. And then when I went out to Gainesville, I bought a couple more for the people that I knew. What?
Forgot to turn my Hold on a minute. I forgot to turn I had my hearing aid hooked up to my TV because we were watching House of Dragons.
Oh,
And forgot to turn it off, and Mandy turned the TV on, and I was like, what's going on?
what were you watching? What were you hearing?
I don't know. She like a waterfall or something. She's been
Bong
watching this
bong.
one. Yeah.
Watching Law and Order.
Oh, I need to finish watching some of that because we haven't watched that in a minute. An Alien, that's a good show. There's too much stuff out right now because you forget it's top of mind. Like House of Dragons, it's like, man, I gotta watch that.
Yeah.
And unless it's top of mind, you forget.
You're breaking up a lot right now.
Am I breaking up a lot? Hold on.
Yeah.
And maybe because
Well, I was at let me continue doing this as you play with your Wi-Fi there. When I was at Rogue One? When I was at Ollie's, they had a Rogue One visual dictionary hardcover. The Ultimate Vision Visual Dictionary. Right here, I'm pulling it up. For $6, and I couldn't say no. No, you can't see that, but it is a hardcover book. You can hear the hardcover.
Yes, I can see it now.
Yeah.
When you put it in front of you.
But it's pretty cool. And I thought for $6 for one of my favorite Disney era Star Wars movies, I can't say no. I love that it does say that Beezer Fortuna, which is that Twi'lek that you see for a hot second in oh my god, this is the problem of doing podcasts at night. Saw Gerrera's place is actually Bib Fortuna's cousin, but anyways. So Micro Galaxy Squadron, the Jango Fett version of the Slave One went on pre-sale at Target, and so did the Low Altitude Assault Transport, which is the LAT, L-A-A-T. And I pre-ordered the LAT. I haven't done the Jango Fett Slave One yet version because I felt like I just got the Slave One Boba Fett's version, and this is a repaint, and it really hasn't been too tough to find those, so I'm just gonna wait to find that at a Target, and then I'll get it that way.
Right. I did see the Ben Kenobi, the TIE fighter, the X-Wing, not the X-Wing, the Jedi fighter today.
Yeah, that one.
But I didn't pick it up.
That's Series 1.
Right.
And then finally, when I was out in Gainesville, no, not finally, two things left. I went to Gainesville. There was a Walmart there. They had 2 cases of blind boxes, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. So I pick one up, and I look at the bottom, and it's sliced open.
Aye.
And I look at another one, it's sliced open. And another one sliced open. I kind of put those to the side, and I start picking them up, and I'm looking at all of them. And they've all been sliced open. 2 full cases of the blind boxes sliced open and just put back. And I'm like, well, the chances of actually finding the chase in this situation is pretty slim, because I'm sure someone was slicing it to find that Grogu and the Biker Scout.
And so you didn't even
I looked at like 3 or 4 of them, and then I just decided to move on with my life because I just figured they were looking for those. And then finally, Tony posted the link for the Walgreens 187th Clone Trooper. So I pre-ordered that, and that arrived today, but I haven't looked at it because I was busy with the municipal judicial squad.
Right.
I prefer to say it like that because it's more like the Avengers and it's from the Simpsons.
Superpowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, we shoot, what did we do? No, I don't know. I'm trying to think something awesome came happening, but nothing happened. I didn't pre-order anything because I don't pre-order anything.
Oh, such your motto in life now? Your words to live by? I know.
Yes, my words to live by, because then I find it. Oh, I did find you could see it right there, but it's probably too small to see.
Oh, it's your droid's Boba Fett.
Yes, and they had a whole ton of them.
Yeah, that'll be clearance probably in a week.
I don't understand how that happens, man. It's like the stuff like that they'll pre-order it, and then you're rushing to get it, then all of a sudden it shows up a year later and nobody wants it, or it's clearance, in a week.
Yeah, I don't know what the science behind it is. If it's just everyone wants it when it's announced, and then by the time it gets here a year later, like you're saying, it's like, I don't care anymore.
Well, it's probably just like that Cobb Vanth. I was all excited about that and pre-ordered it, and then my credit card got canceled, or I changed credit cards, and by the time I got the email, I'm like, they gave me the opportunity to fix it, but I was like, why bother? I don't want it. I've seen it. I'm not excited about it anymore. So
Yeah. Well, you got it. Another Boba Fett for the shelf.
yep. I got to rearrange everything. I did rearrange my Wampa shelf, move some stuff around.
Wampa wampa.
Had to make more room for the Wampas because I'm getting too many of them.
There's some news.
What?
There's some news that dropped today, actually. So if you're listening to this on Tuesday, we're recording this Monday night. And so this news dropped today, the day before you're listening to this. I guess if you're listening to this 2 years from now, this news dropped 2 years ago. So whatever. Anyways, Damon Lindelof was writing his own Star Wars movie. And he's kind of quietly doing that. And then they hired a director. And I apologize in advance. I'm sure I'm going to murder this name. Charmeen Obaid Chinoy. She directed a couple episodes of Miss Marvel. She's a Pakistani Canadian director, and she's directed a couple docs. She's going to be directing her own Star Wars movie. So, I mean, we've been here before where they've announced writers and directors, and then they rotate off. So, no news here. I guess the real success is actually crossing that finish line. So let's just make a good Star Wars movie and get it on the other side of the
Right.
line.
I just want more content.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Damon Lindelof has written because his Watchmen was phenomenal, but he also did Star Trek Into Darkness. So, I mean, there's two sides of that coin. The first Star Trek was pretty fun. Lost was a good ride to go on. I don't know if they stuck the landing, but it was still fun to watch.
Yeah, Lost still pisses my wife off.
Prometheus, I liked Prometheus actually. So we'll see what happens. Hasbro.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know enough stuff he did, so I can't. So go ahead. What's Hasbro
did? Did you see the Watchmen on HBO?
I recorded it, but I never watched it.
Yeah, it was pretty phenomenal. I'm a big Watchmen fan. I thought the first 12 issues was just the best comic book I've ever read. And so when they made the sequel, the TV show is a sequel. I'm sorry to spoil that. But it's been out for a while, and if you haven't watched it, too bad. Shame on you for not watching it. And it's good. Anyways, moving on. Hasbro announced that their retro collection will have a couple more figures added to it. Jedi Luke, Emperor Palpatine, Han Solo in a trench coat, Leia Bausch, Scout Trooper, and Lando. It was funny at Ollie's, they had Black Series Lando, General Lando, and I'm like, even for $10, nobody wants this thing at Ollie's.
Jeez.
They also, yeah. So they're coming out with new ones, and they're 3D scanning them, because they were talking about how they were using their childhood figure and they were scanning it. I can't remember the gentleman's name, Chris, I think his name is, but he was scanning it. So that's kind of the process of how they're doing this. It's not like they're going back to old molds or they're remolding these figures. They're scanning them and then 3D printing them and making molds that way, which explains when they first came out. And I don't open them, so I can't, talk to this, but they were saying that the figures were having trouble holding the weapons. The weapons were falling out. So if you're 3D scanning it, you're making the copy of the copy of the copy, and you're losing some of the detail even more from the sculpt. You're even going further from the sculpt, even though it's a high render 3D model. You're still moving away from the actual physical sculpt, and I think that's part of the reason why they couldn't hold their weapons.
Yeah, because at that point you're like 5th or 6th generation.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. But that's the process with these modern figures.
Huh. That's very interesting. But hey, why fix something that ain't broke? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to get into complaining about Hasbro again.
Come on, man. Let's do it.
Just be prepared. I would imagine that they're going to be making some of those last 17 figures at some point.
That's kind of what I've been hearing. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I don't think it'll crash the market. I don't think it'll do anything because the 12 backs didn't do anything.
Well, we talk about the prices at the Cincinnati and Xenia shows, where the price is coming down a bit.
I thought they were still pretty high.
Okay.
But I read a report of somebody that was at the King County show, and he said they did okay, but it was really only one sale that kind of put them over the top. That he said that there was a lot of people he thinks that the bottom's about to fall out. Or,
We'll see.
there's something getting ready to happen and people ain't buying Star Wars stuff right now.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's fine. That way I can complete things.
And I mean, truthfully, just going, if somebody does make a retro, if somebody makes a retro Yak face, I mean, I guess I can the appeal of it, I guess, from somebody who's not like a Star Wars, hardcore collector. Because if I was a hardcore collector, I'd want a real Yak face. And if all you're wanting is a placeholder and it's $12 for a placeholder versus $600, you're going to go with that $12 one.
Right. Also announced was a Clone Trooper Black Series helmet, which we were having fun with on the Facebook page, because this is their latest blank slate that they could Hasbro could repaint over and over again. We get gray ones, yellow ones, orange ones, gold ones, blue ones, red ones, all the same helmet, just different paint applications. Be prepared,
Right.
It's coming.
It's coming, people. The only one that I'm excited about is the Ahsoka one. I would buy that one.
Right. That's another one right there. That'd be a little bit more complicated, but I'm sure at some point, especially if Captain Rex appears in the Ahsoka show, and yeah, that they're gonna make that.
Yeah.
And the 501st.
I think it's coming, man.
The
We're gonna get
501st.
so many repaint. Dude, I did see when we were down at the peddler, the flea market down here before the meetup, I saw one of the Bo-Katan helmets opened up, and I think that was the first time I really paid attention to it. And that's an impressive helmet.
Was it the custom one that we saw?
No, it was a Hasbro.
The
that
custom
Black
one we saw
Series?
at the meetup,
That was just
regular Mando? Okay.
right. It was just a man he had painted, but this was a Bo-Katan that was just a regular Black Series Bo-Katan, and that was a pretty exciting looking helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the Sabine one's coming at some point. You just might have to wait a year.
Yeah, or 2 or 3, or have to pre-order it and then cancel it and pre-order it and then find it at Ollie's for $10.
Yak Face had a bunch of rumors that they were sharing, that there was a large and a small vehicle coming to the vintage collection next year. This is not the newly tooled, brand new speeder bike that they've made for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. This is something different. Could it be the Ghost and the Phantom?
I hope so. We'll see. I don't know, dude. I really don't know. If they release it, it's got to be a HasLab to do it right.
No, I don't think so. I don't think the two vehicles would be positioned that way, where they are two different vehicles. I think they'd release them as one.
Right.
But I'm wondering if this is like another Imperial shuttle and maybe the TIE Interceptor. I don't know. My brain seems to be not as
Or
fast
Darth
as
Vader's Darth Vader's one, or the one with the looks like the really aggressive wings.
Yeah, the one that's got the spiky wings.
The spiky, there you go, spiky wings. Yeah. Why not, man? Let's do it.
All right,
And then
great.
it would be TVC.
It'd be TVC and it'd be the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
I didn't like
Well,
the retro
the
collection.
40th anniversary of 40th Empire. So yeah, that would make sense.
Sorry, do that again because you broke up.
40th anniversary of Empire. So that makes sense. The TIE Interceptor and the shuttle.
Yes. Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. Sorry.
But I didn't like the retro collection. They threw that ugly 40th anniversary logo on there.
Right.
It's like,
I wonder if it's a sticker or is it printed?
no, it's printed. The sticker is still the retro sticker, but the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi thing is printed on there, and it's like you're scuffing them up so you're scuffing up the edges so people won't confuse that quote unquote with vintage figures. You don't need to
Right.
scuff it up if you're going to throw that logo on it.
Right. I mean,
it's a little disgusting to look at.
right. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like about the retro line is that scuffing up of stuff. And that sticker doesn't look good. But then they didn't do the sticker on what was it, the Boba Fett prototype they didn't do the sticker on? Was the only one?
I don't know. I didn't pay that close attention, I guess. I know that Vader's selling for $100, the retro prototype Vader.
Yeah.
He's going for a pretty penny.
Yeah, that was one I held on to till I was like, hey, it's going for $100, and I sold it.
And then finally, the last piece of news, Michelle Rejwan, who's the senior vice president of live action development and production at Lucasfilm, is leaving. She's going over to Walt Disney Productions. So she's leaving Lucasfilm. I believe she's got a couple projects still left in the production pipeline. So we can expect those she'll probably watch those through to completion, but she's going to be leaving, which means we'll have new blood in there, and maybe we'll get a better track record of writers staying on to write projects and directors actually directing those projects.
Right.
Cool. That's it for news. Ba-dum-bum. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
All right.
Is there anything fun and exciting?
There's a couple of things I did want to talk about. Did you watch the latest episode of Andor?
Yes.
All right. So we're about midway through this. There's going to be spoilers. So if you haven't watched it, just, I don't know, watch it and come back, because I can't say that we're going to be talking for 15 or 30 minutes or because we don't have a topic tonight. So we're just going to be talking. So we pointed this out in our chat, or at least Jason did, TK, and Clea looks a lot like Leia. And that's even her name.
Yeah.
Why is her name Clea? Kleya. And that was confirmed in the credits of the show. She's without the nose. The nose's shape is a little different, but she looks exactly like Leia. And it's like, this can't be Princess Leia. This can't be
No, when she was looking, I was just like, is that her? Did they recast her? You know, it's like in my mind, I'm doing math going, okay, does the ages line up? And then you realize that is his associate or whatever.
Yeah.
The whatever in the shop.
She would have to be like 13 at this point, right? Because we're 5 years away from A New Hope and what's it? Yeah. She's 18 in The New Hope, right?
18, 19, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's got to be 13
Hope,
and that
yeah.
Layla. I don't know how to pronounce it, but
maybe it's just a good variation, and Leia is just as a popular name.
Maybe. It was just a little too close. I'm like, why would you hire someone that looks like Leia and her name is Clea?
Right.
Why not Rachel or Monica or Phoebe?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the 4 claps. I don't know if it came across in the podcast, but you did 4 claps.
Here, let me do it again.
That works. It was cool to see the KX series droids show up. Those have to be there for a reason. You're not going to just bring those in, fold those in for no reason. They're building up to the K2SO stuff, right?
They have to be. I think that he'll find it, the last episode or something, or it'll be one where it may be, the last few minutes they find him and decide to bring him back. And you may not meet him, but they have to be, or it's just fan service, just like the shore troopers probably were fan service.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I did the meme from Leonardo DiCaprio, like pointing at the screen. There's my guy. That's pretty cool. I love those shore troopers.
Yeah, no, I'm enjoying it. The whole like 4-part arc stuff is a little bit weird. because then you have like 2 or 3 episodes, and then boom, something happens, and then there's 2 or 3 episodes, and something happens. I'm kind of curious as far as I thought when his mom was talking, you were like, all right, cool, he's gonna turn and he's gonna go full force into this rebellion, and then next thing you know, he's on the beach.
Yeah. Yeah, I had some questions about that beach because I couldn't tell how much time had passed since the incident with the eye. That
Yeah.
whole thing, because it seemed like he was in a relationship with that woman, the way she was talking, how like, don't forget to pick this up, you like that. Seemed like he was there for a while.
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah,
wasn't sure how much time had passed.
I don't think there's ever, we'll know later, but then did you get a Pulp Fiction vibe from that scene? When when Bruce Willis and the one girl are talking about the pancakes, and I'm gonna go pick up the pancakes, baby, and oh, make sure you get blueberry pancakes. And it gave me that whole scene from Pulp Fiction. It had that vibe to it.
I haven't seen Pulp Fiction in like 25 years.
Okay. Maybe you need to watch that scene.
Maybe.
It totally had a Pulp Fiction vibe.
I don't think I got Pulp Fiction when I was a kid. And by a kid, I
Yeah.
mean a late teen. Because that's when it came out. And plus, with each Tarantino movie that comes out, I find myself liking that more than the one the previous, although I think Inglourious Bastards is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. I need to find Once Upon a Time. I'm trying to find it, and I can't find it on whatever services I'm finding.
That's a pretty good one too. That's where the meme comes from.
Ah,
That's why he didn't get the joke. Because he's
no,
watching
I've seen
himself
the
on
meme,
TV.
but I've never seen that.
He like whispers, he points at the TV, he's like, here we go.
Right.
So that's what
So
I
I
did when I
did
saw
see
the Shore Troopers.
Right. Well, I didn't like, I was gonna watch. I looked for the new Clerks 3 movie, and because it's available to buy right now, and it's like $15. And Mandy was like, "Man, it's $15." I'm like, "That's actually pretty cheap."
That's what you would
Considering,
pay to see it in the theater.
right? And it sits on whatever platform we have.
You can watch it whenever you want.
Right. So I need to when I'm done packing, buy so I can watch it because I heard it's pretty good.
I thought it was interesting at the end of episode 7 here, that
Mhm.
Cyril, and Andor both kind of end up in prisons. Andor in an actual prison, but Cyril was surrounded in like a cubicle prison. And I'm like,
Right.
what's the parallel here? Do you think Cyril is gonna go full force into the bad guys, or do you think he's gonna flip at some point? Or are they just opposite ends of the spectrum where he's trying to become a rebel and Cyril's trying to be an imperial?
That's a good point. I didn't catch that. And I don't know if necessarily that Andor is trying to become a rebel. I just think he's trying to be a man trying to make it, just an honest man trying to make his way across the galaxy. But yeah, I think Cyril is trying to, get back to his former glory.
Yeah. Yeah, but how did he see himself at the start of it? He saw himself basically as an imperial. He was a imperial without the clothing, and he was operating himself like he was. He just was failing at everything and not up to the challenge.
Now, was he, because it never really, was he just like a local police?
He was the security force for the corporation. So it sounds like the state of the empire, because there's not enough stormtroopers to police everything. The empire relied on the corporations to have their own security force. The
Uh-huh.
empire only intervened when there was an extreme necessity, like there was after Andor had his, I don't remember what the planet was, but his home planet there that he was operating from. When that whole thing went down, that's when the stormtroopers showed up, and then they probably enforced like a martial law.
Right.
There's not enough stormtroopers to do that on their own, and that's probably why they need, if I'm going to jump ahead, the Death Star, because they can't control every single system in the galaxy. But if there was one star that could just drop out of hyperspace and blow up your planet and then take off, everyone's going to behave, because everyone's going to want to live. They don't want their planet to be destroyed.
Right. That was another thing about Rogue One. I know we're jumping all over the place, but you didn't realize the Death Star could travel
Yeah.
in hyperspace.
Yeah.
I thought it was just sort of there.
No. Yeah, they don't show it going in hyperspace. I wonder if it's because it'd be silly to see, but it
Mhm.
does have a hyperspace drive in it.
Probably would be silly to see, but it is cool to think that it can travel like that.
I just envision like this massive black hole in space opening up and it's gone.
Yeah.
I see it. I thought the Luthen and Mon Mothma scene was very interesting. It was high tense, right? It was a lot of tension. I hate using that term, right? I hate when podcasts just go, right.
Right.
Last Jedi was a bad movie, right? I don't know if that's right. That's your opinion. Anyways, that's Glenn's opinion. Anyways, I thought it was an interesting, Rebels, something Rebels. I thought it was interesting, because I thought they were on the same page up until now, and it seems like Mon Mothma was surprised this whole thing went down. She seems to be surprised that this whole network of rebel spies is in place. She just seemed to be thrown off and unprepared for this, and it's like, what were you waiting for? Was she trying to be more? Was she trying to move slower than Luthen?
Maybe.
Okay, moving on.
I don't know, dude. Right. Maybe she was just trying to. I think what the deal was, and I'm jogging my memory because she keeps talking about her family's money.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what she was trying to get to, was her family's money and not go after the Empire.
Maybe.
Because she, I think, knows that the hell that's going to be unleashed on them now that the somebody stole money from the Empire.
Yeah. And it'll be a little bit more interesting because we do know Saw Gerrera fits into this. So, does Luthen kind of go with Saw to try to figure something out, try to make plans to build this rebellion? And Mon Mothma's like, no, you've got to stay away from him. He's crazy.
Right.
Is that
Or maybe they just kind of go for it. But I mean, and it's what I find, and I'm jumping around too, but you're thinking of all this stuff, and then you're like, how many episodes we got left? And you got like 6 episodes left, and you're like, you can't. It's hard to believe that we're not even halfway. We're barely halfway through this stuff.
Yeah. Does I guess this is jumping ahead again. Does Andor find his sister, and then quickly lose her to the Empire, which causes him to reaffirm his commitment to the rebellion?
Where's She-Hulk when we need her?
I don't know where you're going with that joke either.
Because that's the thing that happens all the time. You find whoever your lost sibling, parent, or whatever is, and then they die, and then you're like, F the Empire. I'm gonna my ways.
Mon Mothma is a very interesting character to me. The relationship with the husband and daughter, it's like I never expected Mon Mothma to have so much conflict with her loved ones, because she seemed to be so at ease, calm. And so to see her just constantly bickering with her husband, it's like, what's going on? Is the husband some sort of Palpatine plant? Did Palpatine have some sort of blackmail over the husband, and he's using that to be like, you need to treat her like crap, we need her to come over to our side, we need to corrupt her or something like that? Probably not, but I'm just curious because there's just so much tension there.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe they just in a crap marriage.
Maybe that's true too.
Or it could be an arranged marriage. I mean,
that's
heck, watching House of Dragons, it's amazing. It's like, you're going to marry your sister, and no, you're going to marry your cousin. And
well, nobody really wanted her marrying her uncle.
Yeah,
that was kind of just them going rogue.
Right.
Targaryens being Targaryens.
Yeah.
You know what they say, when Targaryens are born, the gods flip a coin. They either go crazy or they go genius rulers. Anyways, back to Star Wars.
Sorry, I just got done watching House of Dragons.
We can talk about that at the end.
Top of mind. All right, so Star Wars.
What we'll do is we'll finish up the show. We'll play the end music, and then if you want Targaryen talk, we'll do that after the show closes. And if people want to listen, they can listen.
All right, cool.
Let's do that. Anyways,
All right. So
the whole, I don't even people realize that it was Yularen. Did I say that right? Yularen, Colonel
which
Yularen.
one?
He's in the Clone Wars. That's actually his voice. Well, the Clone Wars, now on Geonosis. That was supposed to be Yularen in his voice, and he is part of the Clone Army, or part of the capitalists. What do they call them? There's a separatist, and then there's this is the Clone Army. He's part of that whole force. He's not a clone though, and then he does flip to the Empire. But they were showing him from like the waist up, and they were building up to a reveal, almost like you expect to see someone like you're doing the DiCaprio meme. That's who that is. And then you see his face, and he's got this normal voice. He doesn't have the voice that we know from the Clone Wars. And it was just, it fell flat to me. Like the whole payoff wasn't there.
Yeah. There's a couple of guys like that. I mean, it took Narayan pointing it out in the chat and like, look, this is, and I've seen people catch on to it.
Yeah, I didn't catch on to it until the chat, and they were having this whole build up, and I'm like, is it him? The voice is off. And they reveal his face. I'm like, he's got a mustache and a white jacket, but that can't be him because it doesn't sound like him. But it was him. If you watch the credits, and Ryan pointed this out, he also pointed out the Clayla thing. I'll give him credit with that because that was him too. It kind of just fell flat.
Yeah,
but it is cool to see interesting, familiar faces, I guess.
Yeah, it is cool. But I think the only person we're really gonna be like, yeah, is like people we really know.
Palpatine.
And like, Palpatine, or
They
if
name
Thrawn
dropped
shows
him.
up. Huh?
They name dropped him.
Yep. I think,
do
you think we'll see Palpatine?
No. Well, if they had him for Kenobi, they might just say, hey, turn over and look at this camera, and I'll say these lines. So if he does, he might show up as a hologram to the ISB agent and be like, you need to find Andor. And then he goes and finds Andor. But that would be it. I don't see him having a full cameo. It was cool to see Yularen talking about how he talked to Palpatine the night before.
Right.
But who's Uncle Harlow?
I don't know. Somebody that's in the he's in the higher ups. He's got to be, if he's got enough pull to get him a job.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking up the character's name because I was thinking it was the head of the ISB. Drums, please. Drums, please. His name is Major Partagaz. Could he be Harlow Partagaz? He's the main ISBN. That's a book thing. Gosh darn it. Imperial Security ISB agent. So
He could be.
I'm just curious if that's him. It would be cool if Luthen had another name and it was Harlow.
Oh my god. That would be interesting. That'd be a weird twist.
Yeah, but Harlow's supposed to be well placed and in a position of power where he can get this guy the job, and based on where he's working, it's Imperial something. So I would imagine it's this Partagaz guy from Game of Thrones.
Or it could be that one dude from Game of Thrones with the clubfoot that just moves a lot of stuff around.
No, not that one. We're talking about the original Game of Thrones, not House of the Dragon.
Oh,
fine. Anyways, they never did this in the show Game of Thrones, but the mountain, his head, they alluded to being Robert Baratheon in the book. Like full Frankenstein. We swapped heads, we brought it back to life, kind of thing. Anyways, moving on. Which would make it would make sense for Cersei to have him as her pet. The person who ruined her life is now her muscle. Anyways, moving on.
Right.
That's all I had for Andor. I just wanted to bring that up because there was a couple pieces. We're halfway through the show, and a couple of the pieces I wanted to bring up and talk about.
Right. Where do you think we're we're going with the show. I mean, he's obviously going to get broken out at some point.
Yeah. I think they're building up to him becoming a member of the rebellion.
Mhm.
He's probably going to look through that manifesto at some point. I think he's going to find his sister or find where she is and learn that she was killed because of the Empire. I think there's some
Right.
sort of key connection there. And then he just becomes part of the Empire, and then I guess him becoming the best, assassin or whatever will become season 2, like his adventures as a rebellion agent or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I mean, season 2 is supposed to have some pretty major time jumps in it. So
Yeah. Just like House of the Dragon.
you're right.
He's going to have short hair in one episode and then longer hair in the next episode to show length of time. And then he's going to have short hair again, and then we'll see him in Rogue One.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shave his beard and then not shave his beard.
Yeah.
And then this girl that he kind of knew was going to be 10 years older.
I did get my post. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know where I was going. I'm kind of curious if we're going to like see Thrawn and stuff in it, because somebody had kind of hinted because of the siege, because of them taking that loot, is why Lothal has the Empire's got such a big stronghold on all that stuff. So it's like that whole thing set things in motion, set everything in motion. If you want to look at it that way.
Mon Mothma was talking about I don't remember. In this Andor series, she's talking about a certain species of people or humanoids or something like that. And in Rebel, she's talking about them, but as a massacre. Let's just I mean, I don't feel like pausing this right now to try to find the term, but let's just say the Greedo people, for lack of a better term. She's saying something like to the Senate, she's talking about we need to address the Greedo people. And then in Rebel, she's saying, the Greedo people were massacred. And that's the reason why she's kind of like the leader of the rebellion, I guess, is because of this people and what the Empire's done. I don't know. Just a tie to Rebels to make you happy.
Yes, everything ties back to Rebels, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything exciting, at least in this season. Maybe next season we'll get some stuff once Ahsoka comes out, and they can have the big reveal on Ahsoka and then bring them back on Andor.
Yep.
Yeah, boy.
Forgot to mention that I got my posters for the Winter Social.
Yeah, yeah. What's wrong with them?
Well, I got 50 of them.
And
I individually numbered them. So I started 1 of 50, 2 of 50, 3 of 50. I keep going through that. 48 of 50. I'm like, there seems to be more than 50 here. 49 of 50, 50 of 50. And then I check and there's 5 extra ones. So it's like the OCD side of me is like, what do I do? I got 5 extras. Do I just burn it, to be honest? Burn the 5 just so I can say that I have 50, or do I just put AP on it and make them artist proofs? I don't think I need all 50, but it's still it's just the OCD side of me is like, I
kept wondering. I'm like looking at the posters going, what did he mess up? And I'm like, oh, there's his foot.
No, it's not the foot. It's the fact that I ordered 50 from a really good place. If anybody ever needs a reference, I'll share that with you. I don't want to free sponsorship or anything like that, but yeah, they're like in St. Louis, and they sent it to me, and I guess they ran off a couple just in case one got dinged up, but they sent 5 extra ones, and now it's like, what do I do? It's screaming out.
Either do APs or 0 of 50 or
0 of 50. Or 51 of 55, 52 of 55. I don't know.
Or you could just do that, do 51 of 50, 52 of 50.
Yeah, that'd be funny. 55 of 50. I might just put AP of 50 or something like that. Artist proof.
Yeah.
Whatever. I doubt they'll all be taken. But that drove me nuts. And then I got Georgia Alliance Star Wars Collectors fabric for a project that I'm working on.
Yeah.
And I'm bad at size, trying to figure out in my head spacing.
Huh.
Like how big something is in comparison to actually how big it will be. Because this logo is about 4 inches, and I thought it was going to be like the size of a quarter,
Oh.
which will change what I'm doing. Like I have to adjust for the size now, and just an extra added challenge, but it's just something that I thought was funny. Guess it's only funny to me.
No, it's funny. It's hilarious. No, I had a friend that got a purse for his wife, and he was like, "You should always check the sizes," because he thought it'd be a purse, and it was a coin purse.
Yeah.
He's like, "Man, this is a great deal," and it ended up being a coin purse.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoops. But I guess that's it for. I think that's all I had.
Yeah. I can't think of anything. Nothing's too exciting's happening. But
Yeah, you were looking at your computer for half of this.
I was paying attention. I don't get my computer. I don't get my screen. I get a little bitty phone. I don't get to look at a screen in much anymore. But that's why I say right all the time. No.
Right.
Right.
People are gonna hear it now when you listen to podcasts. You're gonna hear this right, and it's just this insecurity where people are not sure what they're saying is going to be sold to the audience, or maybe they don't even believe it. But I hear it with like it's like they're trying to convince people like The Last Jedi is a bad movie, right? It's like, no, it's not right. That's your opinion, dude.
No, I enjoyed this.
I still hear The Last Jedi hate.
Yeah. I don't understand it, dude. Why people hate that movie? It just wasn't. They should have planned them out better. That's my only excuse or thing. And they should have had this guy. Yeah, they should have had this guy show up.
Thrawn.
Thrawn.
Lizard?
But the monkey lizard, yes. It's really weird because his neck on this his head just popped off. Maybe that's why his neck seems so much bigger.
Remember my parakeet Petey? His head fell off. That's from Dumb and Dumber.
Oh. I haven't seen Dumb and Dumber in forever, dude.
Yeah. I watch it quite frequently.
Oh. When are you gonna watch?
Watch what? You broke up.
When are you gonna watch Elf?
We're making a new jacket for that. We're going full legit, not a onesie, full jacket. I don't know yet. I don't know what date. It usually is when my in-laws have their party at the lake. I'll go out, get my Starbucks at the very least, and go to Publix and turkey
so
time.
You do it. Okay, so you do that out there. No wonder why you get the weird looks.
People like it. All right, let's wrap up the show so we can do a quick Targaryen talk, I suppose, and we'll
do it.
We'll move on. Hold on. Thank you for listening to the Smugglers Galaxy podcast. If you could, please leave a like and a 5-star review of the show anywhere you listen to your podcast. If it's allowed, it really helps us out and points people to our show. Just wanted to do a quick shout out to Adam2345. Thank you for the review. We appreciate that. You gave us a review on September 16th. Thank you for doing that. And you can do that too, wherever it's allowed. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Are we on Twitter? We're still on Twitter?
I am, but I haven't posted. I need to post more.
My company, we kind of abandoned Twitter. It just really didn't benefit us. There's just a place where people can be like, hey, so-and-so, you're messing up over here. I don't like this. And it's just like, now I got to deal with this fire. There's just like a way for people to throw fires over our fence, and then I had to deal with it. So we just left Twitter. Send us an email or message us. We love feedback. We'd love to make you part of the show. Our email address is smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com. Thank you to Alfonso Riviera for the Smugglers Galaxy logo. You can find him at Puerto Rico Star Wars on Facebook. And thank you to Levi Waterhouse for the Smugglers Galaxy music. Hasbro re-release VC66, which I saw for $1,200 this week.
Jesus.
On eBay. I mean, it's eBay prices, and it didn't sell, but that's how much they were asking for. So that's why we need it re-released. Hashtag vote with your wallet. Pass on what you've learned. Be a positive force in the collecting community. This is the way.
This is the way.
So you want to talk Game of Thrones real quick?
Yeah, let's talk it.
I thought it was much better than Game of Thrones, period.
Right. I think that the time jumps actually helped it out.
Yeah, and casting color characters of color really helped out tell the story and really sell that whole not their line lineage kind of stuff. Because people were out of bent out of shape because of that. But it actually it contributed to the story in a very smart way.
All right. I thought it was Rings of Power that people were mad about that, or was it both of them?
They were mad at both. And just to be clear, Amazon, you spent $500 million on Tolkien, and you don't even use Tolkien. You kind of made your own show. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't follow rings of
they changed
whatever.
a bunch of things, and for me it was like nails on a chalkboard. And it's like, why did you just spend $250 million for this and to produce this and you don't even use it? They went with the J.J. Abrams way of telling stories, mystery boxes. But
right.
Game of Thrones was expert. Like, there was every episode there was something to love, and everything was one-upping in the next episode and the character development. And
yeah, I think I enjoyed House of Dragons a little bit more than Game of Thrones. I think there was just so much going on in Thrones, and House of Dragons, I think it was more focused. Like I think you said this a couple of weeks ago, where it's on, the one family.
yeah,
So it's forced you to be more, and you dealing with 30 different timelines, you're dealing with one.
right.
And that one's got like 5 or 6 things going on, but at least it's a lot easier to deal with one family than everything. Yeah. So yeah, that last episode, it was pretty intense. I hate when people are assholes and they pick, like, the whole thing with the cousins, how that one guy lost his eye because he was being a dick to his cousins.
Aemon.
And then it's his cousin, huh?
Aemon Targaryen, yeah.
But then it's his cousin's fault that he lost the eye, even though he was an asshole.
Yeah. Well, he was also a jerk because he's got I was gonna say Vega, but he's got the dragon he stole from his cousin.
Right.
But Aegon and Aemon is like, when he was giving his toast to his cousins, like, I've gone back to rewatch just that scene, and I don't know who this actor is, but in that scene you see him looking at his cousins and he like shakes his head, yeah, let's do this, and then he says strong boys, insinuating that they're the strong character's children. The way he performed it, like, I hate to do this, but it's just like Al Pacino in The Godfather, the moment he's about to go get the gun and blow the head off of the police officer and the other opposing mafia guy. Like, the level of face acting in that scene just is on par, where he's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Right, let's go. Yeah, I think, and it made me, stop what you're doing and like pay attention, because there's something about ready to go down, and just the acting in it was pretty intense. But yeah, and then a lot of the action, you finally start seeing some action, and then it ends and you're like, crap.
I haven't read the book yet, but I want to read the book after this. But I almost feel like,
how do you know what happens, or do you just you're that good at you just know that much Game of Thrones?
Yeah, Game of Thrones, Wikipedia, Friends. I do know
Okay.
that. So let's do a spoiler alert for episode 10. You might just want to end that podcast now. When Aemon and Luke fight in the sky, nobody ever sees them fighting. So there is no. It's kind of like told in like my brain's shutting down because it's been a hell of a week. They're just kind of like passive and like this is the story that's been told. His body was never found, but they never describe exactly play by play what happened in the sky. But we saw play by play what happened in the sky. The dragons, they acted on their own, and so now Aemon doesn't have control. Neither Luke nor Aemon had control of their dragons in the sky. Luke's dragon went rogue, tried to attack Viserys, Visvegas, whatever. Someone's going to at me later, and you can do that. It's just
Right.
so Aemon doesn't have control of his dragon, and that's what happens. That's how Luke dies. Is that Aemon doesn't have control of his dragon? So now, he's going to go back to King's Landing, and he's got two options: either come out and say that I don't have control of my dragon, which will position them in a place where like anybody could die. It's like the Death Star. He's got the biggest dragon. He's got no control over it. We could all die at any moment. Or you can come out and say, no, I killed him. This is my power. You should be afraid of me. And they'll use that for their advantage. And based on what the books do, I think they go with that latter, that they come out and say that he killed Luke. Because the alternative is everybody's going to be afraid and they're going to go over to Rhaenyra.
Yeah. Interesting. No,
Yeah. I do know how it ends, but I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, I don't talk about how it ends because
it's got 4 seasons of this.
There's 4 seasons of this.
Yeah, they're pretty sure they can do 4.
Is it going to be as insane time jumps?
I think you're going to see the kids as a little bit older. There's rumors that Henry Cavill is going to join the 2nd season as someone.
Who's that?
Superman.
Oh,
that's just a rumor at this point, but he would be one of the Targaryens.
Interesting.
I mean, we'd have to see the strong boys, Jacaerys, and I mean, Luke's dead at this point, but we'd have to see them older. Game of Thrones actually ruins how Rhaenyra dies.
Which one's Rhaenyra?
Rhaenyra is that it? Now I'm getting them all confused. Like Tywin and Tyron. I've only had one. It doesn't help. Tywin and Tyron. That doesn't sound right. From Game of Thrones. Father and son. It's like they're so close in name. Why would you do that? Rhaenyra, Viserys, Aegon, Aemon, Daenerys. Like it's all the same. It's confusing as hell.
Right. And then they're all blonde. So yeah.
Yeah. Where was I going with that? We're talking about names.
You spoiled the death.
Yeah. Joffrey's talking about it in one of the scenes. He's looking down into the something, and he's talking about the ending of House of the Dragon. So it's there if you want to go rewatch it. But
I guess we'll have to go look now. Damn it.
Yeah. It's like their tactical brilliance, or they're just mad kings, and you could see it. Aegon is pretty mad. He doesn't want to be a king, and he's just going to go crazy. And Aemon is a genius mastermind who's just gonna. He's evil too, so he's criminally evil. But I don't know where I'm going with this. I like it. I like season 1. Bring on Andor.
Yeah, no, and then what's it going to be like 2 years before we get into the season?
Probably. I don't think they've started filming.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't understand. I guess things right now, I guess with COVID and everything, because it feels like it's hurry up and wait. Like they've released stuff or they're holding on to it, and then it releases, and then it's always going to be 2 years before we see another episode.
Yeah. Yep. It's like Stranger Things too.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to wait a while for that.
Well, the way they ended Stranger Things, they did say that there's another season coming. They didn't just kind of end it, right?
Yeah, there's one more season, and that's it.
Okay.
Season 5. I was
Gotcha.
looking up to see if there's a season 2 and when it's coming. I mean, it's been greenlit, but I don't know.
We were,
Anyways,
yeah. No, I
that's
was,
all I know.
yeah. It's just fun. Speaking of stuff that's shot here, you're watching it and you're like, oh yeah, I know where that is. So, anywho,
Okay, bye.
all right,
Let's just end this.
all right, yeah, bye.
Bye.